back again with another amazing video. If you're new here, hey, what's up? My name is Mocha. Please be sure to join my amazing YouTube family by hitting the subscribe button somewhere here and the notification bell so that you become notified each time I post a new video. So part 2 is here. If you haven't watched part 1, this one makes sense. You have to go and watch part 1 for you to understand part 2, because I'm starting with my second year now. I'm finally in second year. Things happen, all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. That was me. I'm excited. In second year I start learning. So that semester I was taking my chemistry courses and it was nice. I made 1 or 2 friends. I think my friends moved to third year, but I had to get through it. I had to get over it. Yeah, they shifted to another campus and I still remained in pre-med. Bummer. Yeah, but I had to get myself together for the sake of my parents and everyone now who I knew was really rooting for me, my sisters and my friends. Yeah, because I mean, I had to get back to my feet. You can't cry forever. That's one thing for sure. Semester came, I wrote my exams and I passed. I was so excited. Finally, I had passed my exams, right? I was going in second semester, which is now the last semester in pre-med before I go into actual medical school. Medical school actually starts in third year. 2 years is first pre-med. Second semester, second year was a bit tricky for me. It was rough, honestly. I encountered problems, especially in physiology, because first of all, that course started at 6 hours. I didn't like waking up in the morning, but I made it anyway. I would go here and there. I knew I had problems with it. I wrote the exams for second semester, and as expected, I got a SAP in animal physiology. I was upset, but it wasn't as bad. Like, I was upset that one for, oh my god, how am I getting a SAP? Anyway, let me just study, I'm going to pass it. Like, I had the zeal, you understand? Yeah, and time came, I came to write the SAP. I wrote, and I was so sure I passed. Fine. Results were taking long to come out. We had to shift campuses. So I'm like, whoa, I know I passed, so let me just shift campuses and start my third year while I'm waiting for my results. I started third year. I'm noticing on my portal there's no change. There's no change. Like, they're not updating my SAP results. And then I called the school to say, no, I didn't call the school. I went to do registration to a registration office. I'm like, I want to register for third year, but my second semester physiology results, I had a SAP, are not showing. What's happening? Like, no, let me call the school, the other campus, the pre-med campus, and find out what's happening. Blah blah blah. Fine. Calls the people that side, and then the man is answering the phone like, excuse me, like, please give her the phone. They get the phone. I'm like, yeah, explain what's happening. Then I explain, no, I can't find my results on the portal. Blah 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 blah. The coordinator, I think he's the coordinator, I don't know what he was called. He's like, let me check the system. He's checking. He's like, it shows you didn't sit for the SAP. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it's showing you didn't sit. So it's either you didn't pass or you didn't sit. I'm like, what you mean? What do you mean? Like, yeah, because there's nothing. It's just you showing a SAP is a D+. It's just you showing D+. Like, there's no P or F. How? It's like, no, you should come to the other campus, blah 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 blah. I was so upset. I'm like, we can't do this again. We can't do this again. Not again. I was so upset. I couldn't even tell my parents then because now, how? So I remember I went to my friend's place that day and I told her everything going on, and then she's like, no, I think, babe, you should just change schools. Like, this is a lot. And then I'm like, we've already been down that road with my parents. Honestly, they're not going to accept. This was like a second chance, and I doubt I'm getting another one. Here, I'm just done with medicine. I'm not going to do medicine again. I just have to change schools and stuff like that. So yeah, I was like, anyway, I'll go to school tomorrow and hear what they're saying. So I went to the campus the other day. There were queues. Everyone wanted to see the same person for registration. He was the one who was in charge of everything. So by the time I even got to see him, it was like almost time to knock off, and he was like, no, come back tomorrow. And there's a part of me that just told me, Mwaka, whatever you do, don't remain behind in third year. You will get your results. Like, you will get your results. One thing about everything that I went through, it built my faith in a certain way to believe that when something is for me, it's for me. I never doubted myself again. I developed a certain hardcore faith that was immovable. Even if anything was to happen, I had a certain way of always telling myself, this is temporal, I'll bounce back. Like, I always told myself, I'll bounce back, this is nothing. And I kept telling myself, keep going to class in as much as you are following up this side. So I kept going for classes at the other campus. If I knock off early, I go to the other campus trying to see that man. Guys, have you ever seen someone every day you are seeing them but you are not speaking to them? You understand? It was a situation where I go into school, I'm by the door, I'm telling the secretary, like, no, you see him soon. You see he'll walk out, he'll walk in, but you're not talking to the person. That went on for a very long time. And then one day I just go and they tell me, no, the man went on leave. He's going to be back after 1 month. And there's no one else who can deal with this except him. Like, okay, I'll be back after a month. I continued going to school for third year. And the good part about third year is we write our exams. When you reach third year, you write your exams yearly. You stop writing your exams at the end of the semester. But in third year, we had these half courses that we had to write at the end of first semester. Then they end there. Like, there were half courses, just 2 courses. I needed to be getting ready for those half courses end of semester exams. So at least it was the 2, and they're not so difficult. Yeah, it was psychology and biochemistry. Yes. So I was like, anyway, I'll manage. So I used to study them. I'm like, during the holiday, I'll catch up with everything. But I still had to follow up my sub results. Time passed. The man came back on leave. I went to see him. Now I even managed. Like, I went early that day. I even missed class. I went to see him and I explained everything to him. And I explained everything that has happened from the beginning. I was like, this is what I went through in first year. Honestly, I can't go back. And the man told me, he looked at me and he loved my zeal, first of all. I don't want to cry in the second video, you guys. He was like, one thing I love is how I used to see you before I went on leave, and I always wondered, what does this girl want? I didn't even know you, but I always saw you by my door. And many people give up when it comes to such things. They always say, they don't want to see me, whatnot. I'll just stop. Like, people have quit school just like that. And I remember when I told my dad about it, he was like, no, maybe we change faculty, maybe it's just a course that's not for you. Like, there were different opinions, and I just told him, no, I'm not changing anything. I'm going to continue with this. So the man told me he's going to talk to the lecturer and they can use my CA, and then I have to come and sit for the exam at the end of that semester. But I will continue being in third year. Yes, but then I have to sit for the exam for that course again, because they can't find the results. So I have to sit for it. So that was the only option that was there. He's like, otherwise you have to come and repeat this course next semester, because people have already written CAs and stuff like that. And I was like, I'll take it. All right. I went home. I didn't cry, whine about it. I just told my parents what they said, and I said, I got this. I started studying for a course I never went to class for a whole semester. I got notes, got the topics they did, everything, and I wrote the time for writing the exam came. I remember going in that exam hall, and that's a different campus. That's a pre-med campus, right? I sat where I was seated and I looked at that hole and I said, Lord, this is the last time I'm writing an exam in here. I'm done. I can't come back and write another exam in here. I can't. I told myself, I can't write another exam in this hall. This is the last one. I even told myself, Mwaka, I promise you, this is the last exam you're writing. And that was before the paper came. And thank God I was seated like at the wall, because I started crying in there. Like, I couldn't believe I was back in there. Because I literally told myself, second semester, I'm going to third year. I've made it into med school, literally now into med school, the actual med school. But then I was back again in the pre-med campus. I was like, why, Lord, how? But then the paper came. I wrote with all my heart. I made sure I wrote. And I finished writing. I left, I went straight home. And I knew that was really the last time I was writing an exam in pre-med. And what happened was that I had to sit for the half courses as well. But I couldn't get a confirmation slip for me to sit for those half courses. So the coordinator told me I have to write them as deferred. Deferred is usually written at the beginning of the semester with the supplementary exams. So he told me during the holiday, just make sure you study, then you come and write them as deferred. I'm like, fine. I went home. I used to study biochem psychology because I knew I was writing them as deferred. Results came out, and I remember that day results came out around 24. That was midnight or 1. I don't know, but that's when I saw them. I opened them and I was so excited. I was happy. I went to my sister's room. I showed her. She was still awake, and I was excited. The next morning came. I told my parents, oh, so that one course, what. Then I was like, now I'm officially in third year. I'm officially a medical student. I'm starting medicine now. Yeah. Everyone was happy. That happened. But then I was still studying for the courses I had to go and write, the deferred courses. I came back to school. It was time to write deferred. And then I hear the biochem lecturer said, but she said something about people not writing deferred. CAs, I can't remember what her rule was all about, but she didn't allow us to sit for the exam. She said we had to redo the course and write it at the end with all the other papers, because that's when we're now writing our end of year exams, right? That was second semester. Yes. So I wrote psychology. The man wasn't difficult, so I wrote the psychology, but the biochemistry woman was like, no, there are people who have to redo the course. So I didn't get to write the biochem. I was so upset. But anyway, I continued my third year, second semester. Registration was a bit hard because everyone wasn't understanding how I was like in the middle of 2 intakes. I had to go back to the pre-med campus to get an official letter from the coordinator saying I didn't have results and whatnot. Like it was messed up. But then I managed to do my registration. Yeah. So time to write exams came. What I knew was that since my biochem was a deferred, I didn't have to sit for CAs. One thing I learned about being in university, you guys, always find out on your own. Don't listen to people who will tell you, no, the lecturer said this, no, the class rep said. If you can, find out on your own. I was so sure I only needed myself to write. I had already written my CA. It was just deferred, right? So I'm like, I don't need to sit for these continuous assessments that people are writing because I already have mine. It's deferred. I'm approaching the end of the semester, about to write my exams. The list for CAs comes out. My name is not on the list. I go to the lecturer. I'm like, my name is not on the list. She's like, no. She goes in her computer. She's like, meaning you never used to sit for the CAs. I'm like, no. I'm a deferred case. I didn't write my deferred exam. So I was told that I'm sitting for the biochem exam at the end of the semester together with the rest of my courses. She's like, everyone who was doing that, I told them to retake the CA. I'm like, no, the ones who were retaking the CAs are the ones whose CAs were below 20. Mine was above 20. So how come? She checked again. She's like, no, I'm sorry. Even if your CA was above 20, I would have liked you to redo the CA. I was so upset. I went back to pre-med and I explained to the man what's happening. I'm like, this woman is saying this. How? No, it's not possible. He tells me, go to the dean and explain to the dean. He wrote something. He's like, tell the dean this at the medical campus. And he'll explain. You understand. So I come back to the medical campus. I got the dean's office. I tell the dean. I explain for him everything. I show him the letter attached. Everything that I was wronged. I wasn't given my results. And the dean understands. So he writes on top of the letter, he says, to biochemistry department, please, what did he say? Consider. He said consider. Yes, something like that. Then he's like, take this to the biochem office. You guys, every time I would go to the office, the woman used to chase me. She used to chase me. Every time I stand by the door, I'm busy. I think she knew me, so she knew what I wanted. And she would see the papers in my hands. She knew that I probably brought something that will make her have to do things. The woman refused to see me, you guys. I used to go there every day. She refused to see me. I'm like, fine. I don't know what she's going to do, but I'm going to sit for the exam. Time to write the exam came. Guys, I was stressed. My biochem was on the same day as anatomy. 2 bulky courses in one day. I was so stressed. But then, I was like, anyway, I'll write. I got this. So I wrote the exam and I was so confident I would pass. I went home. I was just praying for a miracle. I'm like, I don't know what that woman is going to do, but I have to have those results. Results came out for 3rd year, you guys. It wasn't biochem there. It wasn't there. The comment on the biochem was not examined. Wow, not examined again. Again. I went back to school. I told my parents again, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. My biochem results. One thing I realized is like one problem in the system kept causing the rest of the problems. I don't know if you get. Having an issue in the beginning in my system, like my name just had a glitch, a problem in the system. So it kept reoccurring, you understand? So it kept happening. And I remember I went back now. I came back to school. And the first thing I had to do, I still had the letters from the dean that said, please reconsider. I came back to biochem. I went to the woman's office and I told her, no, I went to the office, I knocked. Guess what? She wasn't there. I found a man. So I asked the man, I'm like, where's doctor? The head of department? No, she traveled for a funeral out of the country, so I'm the one acting. I'm like, oh, okay. So what's the issue? And I explained to him everything. I showed him the letters. And then he's like, this is so straightforward. Why didn't she just add your CA to everyone else, blah, blah, blah. You didn't just sit for the exam. It was a deferred. I'm like, I don't know. She refused. That's how the man added my CA there and then. And he told me he will now have to send my results to IT. And IT will add my results to the portal. So I can go to 4th year. Yay! 2 weeks passed. No change. 1 month, IT is not adding my results. I go back to the man. Thank God the woman was not yet back. I'm like, no, IT says they haven't yet added my results, blah, blah. He's like, no, I'll call them. He calls IT. They are not picking up. He's like, no, I'll call them. They have to add your results, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, fine. Time passes. They're not adding my results. So I go to IT myself. I asked them to say, up to now, my results haven't been added, but I'm told you guys received a directive from the Balchem head of department to say, you have to add my results to the portal. The man tells me, oh, it's you. Actually, I've been receiving the phone call from the Balchem, but the thing is that I told him to tell you, I just can't add results to the IT without permission, official permission from the registrar, explaining what the problem is exactly, what the problem was, and why I'm adding your results while results were already uploaded on the system. Like, really? He's like, yeah, I can't do that unless I have permission from the registrar. So go see the registrar. Fine. Guys, if I tell you I've been to more offices in this school, like I've been to all the offices. I think I've even skipped the part where I went to the VC's office and he didn't give me a seat and he chased me. Literally, when I was asking for my results in pre-med in part 1, I went to the VC's office. He looked at me. He didn't give me a seat. He just read what, because you can't go there without writing a letter or something. He looked at me. He's like, you just failed. Like, what do you want? You failed? Repeat the course. So I went to the registrar's office. I knocked. It was a woman. I don't know why majority of women in offices tend to be so difficult, because you would find men understand, even when it's a man to man, not even only when they're dealing with women. Honestly, I've seen this. Women understand, men understand situations easily, but women, when they're in positions, when we should change. When they are given positions, they are so, I don't know if authoritative is the word, but they change. They become, their authority gets to their head. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain. But anyway, I knocked on that door. I entered. So the woman looks at me. Yes, what do you want? She's very loud. I explained to her, no. Excuse me. I show her the letter from the dean, whatnot. I tell her, no, my results haven't been added to the portal. And she looks at me. She's like, Mwaka. She wrote my name there. It's like, Mwaka, this is a small issue. Why are you moving around offices? Why isn't the IT just adding your results if he has them? I'm like, he said he can't unless he has permission from you. She even gets a note there and then she writes, please add her results to the portal as soon as possible. She even signs registrar Dr. What. I'm like, you go, girl. Yeah, and she's like, take this now to the IT's office. That's how I took the thing to the IT, and I waited for a few days. Voila, my results were on the portal again. Your girl was officially a 4th year student. Now, 4th year wasn't the easiest. Why? COVID. Online school was the ghetto. Like, guys, we literally had to teach ourselves. Because for me, you would find they're just sending notes, and I was lost most of the times. I was lost. But there's a certain zeal that going through all this brought out in me. I just told myself, I'm done failing exams. I don't know, I'm just done. I won't find myself in a situation where I have to knock on someone's door because something has happened. I'm so done. But was I? Was I done? 4th year came. Exams, we had to write them physically after learning online. Yeah. So I was home for online school, so I had to travel back to come and write the exam. Yeah, I wrote the exams with so much confidence. I've never been so confident for exams like I was in 4th year, honestly. I remember going back home and telling myself, I'm just going to thank God I have passed these exams. I'm not going to pray to ask God to pass. I'm going to thank God in advance for passing these exams. That's the level of faith I had reached. That's how my faith was now built, to not pray for things but thank God for things before they were given to me, you understand? And results came out that day. I remember around 18 when I was cooking. Best day of my life. I remember I was so nervous. I told my sister to check for me. Before she could say anything, she just started screaming, and I wanted to make a reaction video of me checking my results, but then I feel like I was too overwhelmed to even think about it. Like, I was happy, you guys. I cried. And my baby sister was just like, why are you crying? I'm like, girl, you won't understand. You won't understand. I was so excited. I was graduating. I was happy. I'm like, wow, this is it. This is good. And I had to come back to school to prepare for my graduation, and I came back. So they released a list of people graduating. But then my name not there. Guys, my name wasn't on the graduation list. And we're a lot of us, and we asked the class rep, no, please find out for us why our names are not there. And they're like, no, they still have to work out some few issues for those of you who are not on the list. I'm like, what issues? Well, I wasn't even shocked. Time passed. People are already preparing for graduation, buying their award. Okay, for me, because like I said, I had reached a point where my faith was built in a certain way. So I was still preparing. I was still looking for my dress, my heels, hair, and whatnot, despite not being on a list. So one day on a Sunday morning, I get a phone call, and this is examination office. Waka, there's something I'm not understanding on your portal. How many times did you repeat what? How when did you take chemistry? Like, I'm not understanding your portal. That's the woman. I'm like, girl, I know. Let me just break it down for you. I wrote it down and I sent it to her on WhatsApp, explaining. Like, I took a pic. I told her I wrote chemistry the first time. I wasn't given my results. So if you're finding I passed chemistry twice but still repeated it, honey, that's on your school. You didn't give me, but the results, you had them. You had the results, but you didn't give me. So that's not on me. So the one you're considering is the one for in 2018 or whatever. I explained for her everything. She was like, I get what you're saying, but I have to verify that with the head of department, because there are too many chemistries on your portal and I don't know which one you passed and which one. Like, fine, whatever. And she wasn't getting back to me. That whole week she was quiet. And then one day she just called me. So I've just verified with chemistry. You actually did pass. And so the chemistry we're considering is the one you wrote in 20 what. I'm like, I knew that, I told you. But anyway, yeah, that's how my name was being added to the graduation list. I didn't even tell my parents my name wasn't on the list. I just kept telling them to prepare, because honestly, imagine the kind of stress that they had been through already. Results, what now? Finally they're excited I'm graduating, and then my name is not on a list. That would be so much for them. Like, even the morale of wanting to be at the graduation wasn't going to be there for them, right? So that's how I just graduated. If you haven't seen my graduation video, link is there. Please go and check it out. The best day yet, because I know there's more to come. And I think this video is self-encouraging. I don't really have to say much to say don't give up, work on your zeal. Honestly, just from what I've said, you could tell that it's self-encouraging. Don't give up. Honestly, there's nothing more I can say. And trust God. Honestly, for me, this story has no beginning and no ending without God. Like, He literally helped me, picked me up, made me get over everything that I went through, and He still gave me the courage to continue, because at some point I thought I lost it. I was like, I can't do this medicine thing anymore. Like, the zeal you get, you can't do medicine without zeal, you guys. We don't sleep. There's no how are you going to have sleepless nights without zeal? I mean, how? Yeah, so I had to get back on my feet, and honestly, I think I would have been the saddest person if I decided to change courses or schools, because I'm happy here. I'm happy. I'm at Levy right now doing my clinicals, Obs and Gyne has been my favorite rotation so far. And I'm enjoying med school. I love it here. I can't wait to share my journey with you guys, my ups and downs. I don't know about my journey ahead, but all I know is that if God is writing my story, it's perfect. It's honestly going to be a perfect one. At first I had told myself, no, I'm going to write a book and whatnot, but I'm not so much of a reader myself, so I'm like, why not just tell it? Because I mean, I watch YouTube for a living also, so I'm like, why not just tell the story in a form of a video. I hope it's encouraged someone who's thought of giving up, someone who thought just because they failed 1 or 2 exams they are done, just because someone told them medicine is not for them, law is not for them, teaching is not for them, or whatever you are studying, just because you failed one course, it's not the end of the world. If I tell you guys, there is more to life than an exam. Life goes on. All you have to do is just pick yourself first as soon as you can. Don't be down for too long. You will be down forever. That's all I can say. Once you realize something hasn't worked out, be it whatever business, whatever it is that you're doing, once you fall down once, don't allow yourself to be at the bottom for a very long time. Pick yourself up as soon as you can and keep going. That's all I can say. But when you decide to pick yourself up for the second time, don't go alone, go with God. That's all I can say. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this very long video. I'm sure I'm going to try and make it as short as possible if that's possible, but I can't leave out any details. You guys have to know where I've come from. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, show your girl some support, and yeah, let's continue doing this. Let's continue growing. See you in my next video. Bye.